Today we're taking a look at these MLB matches, which are happening on Wednesday, June 28, 2023, and giving you our team and total picks for today. Welcome back to High Stakes. Before we dive into our video, don't forget to subscribe and to push the notification bell so you don't miss any of our videos. Also check out our Patreon if you want access to our premium picks. Our Patreon is a way for us to help you improve your chances of making more money. You will find the link to our Patreon in the description and comment section below. Milwaukee Brewers vs New York Mets. The Brewers fell 7-2 on Tuesday night as they were held to just 7 hits and struck out 11 times against Mets pitching. The Brewers are now 41-38 following the loss. Wade Miley gets the nod in Game 3 of the series, and it'll be his 11th start of the season. The Southpaw comes into this one at 5-2 with a 2.91 ERA and 1.03 WHIP. His second start off the Illinois was against the Guardians on Friday, a 6.0 innings scoreless effort where he allowed just 3 hits. Miley hasn't given up a run in 11.0 innings since returning from injury, and he has been awarded wins in each outing. Milwaukee's offense has not been the reason for its success this year. The Brewers are just 25th overall in runs scored, 314, thanks to the 29th ranked team batting average, .226, and 28th best ops, .675. As for individual efforts, Christian Yelich leads the way in average, .273, OBP, .367, and RBI, 34. Meanwhile, Willie Adames has supplied the power with 12 home runs. Kodai Senga heads to the bump Wednesday night, and it'll be his 15th start of the 2023 campaign. The right-hander has been solid for the Mets this year and comes into this one at 6-5 with a 3.52 ERA and 1.34 WHIP. Most recently, he faced the Phillies and allowed 4 runs, 2 earned, on 5 hits and 3 walks. Senga lasted 5.1 innings and took the loss in the 5-1 defeat. It has been an underwhelming season for the Mets offensively. They're just 15th in runs scored, 349, courtesy of the 19th ranked team batting average, .239, and 20th best ops, .712. Individually, Brandon Nimmo leads the way in both average, .279, and OBP, .369. Pete Alonso has been the power surge, blasting a team-leading 24 home runs while driving in 55 RBI. This should be an exciting game between two teams that are both vying for a playoff spot. However, I think the Brewers are the better team and should win. Wade Miley has been pitching very well since returning from the injured list. He has not allowed a run in his last 2 starts, and the Brewers have won both of those games. The Mets' offense has been struggling, and they rank 23rd in team batting average and 24th in ops over the last 15 days. If Miley can continue his strong pitching, the Brewers' bullpen should be able to hold the Mets' offense in check. Devin Williams has been one of the best relievers in baseball this season, and he has converted 14 of his 15 save opportunities. Overall, I think the Brewers are the better team and should win this game. I recommend betting on them on the money line, plus 120. In my opinion, it comes as a package deal to play the under, since we're riding with the Brewers on the money line. The overall vibe with Milwaukee is that they enjoy playing in lower scoring games where they can lean on their dependable bullpen to close things out at the end. I touched on the Mets' offensive woes above. Well, the Brewers haven't exactly been lighting up the scoreboard on their end either. Over the last 15 days, Milwaukee is 28th in team batting average, .204, and 27th in ops, .628. Senga hasn't been dominant over his last 4 starts, posting a 3.74 ERA over 21.2 innings pitched. However, his ERA drops to 2.52 at home this year, and opponents are hitting just .164 against him at Citi Field. 9.0 runs is simply too high with these 2 struggling offenses. I'm locking in the under. Houston Astros vs St. Louis Cardinals. The Houston Astros have had a stranglehold on the AL West division over the better part of the last decade, but this season, the team has struggled to keep pace. Over the weekend, the Astros were able to avoid a sweep at the hands of the Dodgers in La with a 6-5 win on Sunday night. With the win, the Astros stayed 5 games behind the first-place Texas Rangers in the AL West. On Tuesday night, in Game 1 of their series at St. Louis, the Astros fell 4-2 to the Cardinals. Starter Framber Valdez took the loss while going 6 innings and allowing 4 runs and striking out 6. The St. Louis Cardinals have gone from the penthouse to the outhouse in the NL Central in the span of just 1 season. Last year, the Cardinals roared to life in the second half and took the division title. So far this year, the Cardinals have struggled mightily and are in dead last in the NL Central. The good news for the Cardinals is that no team has been able to run away with the division, and the team is still within striking distance of the division lead, with a little over half the season left. On Tuesday night in the series opener with Houston, the Cardinals got another strong start from Jordan Montgomery and took a 4-2 win over the slumping Astros. Montgomery went 6.2 innings and allowed 1 earned run to improve to 5-7 on the season. While Houston has struggled in their last 10 games entering this series, going just 3-7, they have been more consistent on the road overall this season. The Astros are hitting .250 on the road this season, but have shown off their power away from home, hitting 113 extra base hits away from home this year in 37 games coming into this series. They have hit 22 home runs in their last 15 road games and should be able to do some damage against Cardinals starter McCullers, who has had trouble putting hitters away via the strikeout this season. The Cardinals are just 23rd in runs allowed per game this year and are allowing nearly a run more per game at home this season than on the road. The Cardinals are also just 3-7 in their last 10 home games entering this series. The Cardinals have also lost each of McCullers' last 4 appearances. Look for Javier to silence the Cardinals' bats and the Astros to roll in Game 2 of this series. Take the Astros with the money line. The Cardinals will turn to veteran righty Miles McCullers in Game 2 against the Astros. McCullers is 4-5 on the season in 16 games, including 6 quality starts. McCullers has an ERA of 4.23, a career-low K9 rate of 6.3, and a WHIP of 1.36. At home, McCullers is 1-2 in 7 starts, including 2 quality starts. His ERA rises to 4.97 at home, his K9 rises to 7.6, and his WHIP lowers slightly to 1.34. In his last start, McCullers bounced back from consecutive rough starts to go 7 innings while allowing 8 hits and just 2 runs in a 3-0 loss to the Nationals. Our total pick is over. Detroit Tigers vs Texas Rangers. The Detroit Tigers were expected to compete for the AL Central crown in 2023, but due to their lack of momentum, especially in their last 10 as they are just 5-5, still trailing the Minnesota Twins in the division race by 4.5 games. In their past 6 games on the road, Detroit have fared well with a 4-2 record, but find themselves just 53-114 against the AL West in their past 167 encounters, and with a well-oiled offensive machine on the other side, things aren't getting any easier. On the mound, Detroit will be hoping for better from young left-hander Joey Wentz, who has followed up a promising debut campaign with a rough season in 2023, as he is just 1-7 in his 13 starts, with an ERA of 6.82. He has improved over his last 3 starts, allowing just 7 earned runs in 15.1 innings of work, but there's still plenty to be done, and against a Rangers team that leads baseball in many offensive categories, he needs to step up in a big way. The Texas Rangers have been red hot seemingly all season long, racing out to a massive lead in the American League West Division, while being 8-3 in their past 11 games against the AL Central, as well as being 12-4 in their past 16 games played against teams with a losing record. In their past 10 games, the Rangers have somewhat come back down to earth with a 6-4 record, but if they can take the series from Detroit, it will help them build momentum as they look towards a series with the in-state rival Houston Astros. On the mound, Texas looked to one of their best pitchers on the season in Dane Dunning, who has impressed through 17 games with a 5-1 record and a 2.76 ERA, and after an inconsistent series on the mound, they need his very best in this one. At home this year, Dunning is a perfect 4-0, allowing 12 earned runs over 35 innings of work, and as he continues to grow and develop as a starter, the deeper this Rangers rotation becomes. The Detroit Tigers have a surprisingly good record against the Texas Rangers in recent years, but the Rangers are now the dominant team in the American League. They have the number 1 ranked defense and number 6 ranked pitching staff, and they should be able to dominate the Tigers in this series. The Rangers had a rough first outing, but they have since bounced back and are playing some of their best baseball of the season. They have the advantage on the mound and up and down the lineup, and the Tigers have struggled for consistency all year. This is Texas's chance to establish their dominance further. Neither of the first 2 games of this series have been overly competitive, but what they have seen is plenty of offense, which is clearly no different to their recent battles, as the over is 31-14-6 in their past 51 games played in Texas, as well as being 7-3-1 in their past 10 head-to-head meetings. For the Tigers, the over is 8-1-1 in their past 10 games played against teams with a winning record, and for the Rangers, the over is 14-5-5 in their past 24 games played at home, and with a pitcher taking the mound with a 6.82 ERA. This is an opportunity for Texas to make a big statement. Keep it simple, take the over.